Hey everybody, it's Heidi Hope and it's FAQ Friday. We are going old school style FAQ Friday this week because I opened up the call for questions out on social media again. So this is the way we used to do it before we started. The past 6 weeks have been really special weeks because we have been building up to the release of our online workshop for photographers called Photographer Rising Workshops. And I have really been sending our FAQ Fridays straight to everybody's inboxes. If you are not a subscriber to our newsletter for photographers, you need to do that. Go on over to HeidiHope.com/learning and you will see sign up boxes all over the place on our website. You can enter your name in and you can get all of the information that I send out and my weekly newsletters delivered straight to your inbox. But now that that is all over and done with, and we opened up registration for the online workshops today, you can find that over on photographerrising.com. And that will be available for 2 weeks only. So if you're interested in signing up and joining us, our online workshop is running from January 5th through 9th of 2015. And that is the only time I'm planning on running it in 2015. You can register for that for the next 2 weeks. And I'm really excited already to see the registrations coming in because I know 2015 is going to be an amazing year for everybody. Now, we also opened up the opportunity to apply for a scholarship, a fully paid scholarship for this online workshop. And I don't know why I did that to myself because it has been really so hard to choose. Seriously, everyone is so deserving of this. All of the entries, I read them over and over again. They had me crying. So much of myself in all of you who took the time to write. Seriously, there was something about every single entry that touched me and made me say like, oh my gosh, this person, it's like looking right at myself. So I appreciate that. And although I couldn't choose everybody to do it, unfortunately, we had so many entries. I want you to know that just writing them inspired me and it really made me feel like what I'm doing is the right thing, and it's really gave a lot of meaning to what I do with the FAQ Fridays every week and the newsletters. So thank you all for that. That was a gift to me. So Rafflecopter did the easy job and picked a random entry last week, and then this week I had the very tough job of going through all of the entries and picking 2 deserving recipients. So the 2 that I chose, hold on, can I drag out the suspense for longer? The first entry that I chose was Katie Parker. She's out on the West Coast and she is struggling with the medical bills of one of her children, and she just moved. Her husband's in the military. She's got 3 kids and she's trying to restart her career in a new place. And I just can't imagine how many challenges you are facing, Katie, with all of that stuff. So I would love to give you the opportunity to join us this January for the online workshop. And the second recipient that I chose is Melissa, I hope I say your last name right, Reiki. And she is a photographer, a super talented photographer. I checked out all of your websites, obviously. And Melissa is also dealing with, she's in her 8th round of chemotherapy. She has 2 kids and she's doing all the shooting in between all of that, which is just mind-blowing to me, the strength that you must have to be able to do that. So I would love to give you a spot in our online workshop as well. But thank you to everybody who applied because honestly, I want to give this to everyone, and I hope that I can continue to do this in the years to come and can kind of continue to connect with all of you. So thank you so much. Okay, let's get to this week's questions because we have lots of great information to share today. I'm going to pick 5 questions today. I've got my big bowl of questions printed out from you all. Thank you for these. Let's see. Let's start with Deb. She says, I am in the process of buying one of your backdrops from Photo Prop Floors and Backdrops. Just indecisive on which material to purchase. I'm thinking between the vinyl or the wrinkle-resistant fabric. Which would you suggest? Well, I have to say, I've only tried the vinyl before. I've used Photo Prop Floors and Backdrops since I started in business, and I had only ever ordered the vinyl, and I love the vinyl. It's easy cleanup, it's easy to move around, it's lightweight, it doesn't wrinkle. So that would be what I suggest, but really because I don't know much about the other fabric. So okay, let's pull another one. Stacy asks, I hope to pop in and catch this in between sessions today. I hope you're here with us, Stacy, because I'm answering your question. I was wondering your process on working with upset, angry, or not smiley kids. Sometimes the studio environment can be scary, especially for the little ones that are new to it. So you might hear in the background some kids like that today, because we have mini sessions going on, holiday mini sessions going on, and hopefully they don't put Mariah into labor because it's crazy out there. But yeah, sometimes, especially in mini sessions, because kids don't have as much time to warm up, but sometimes in our sessions, kids start out whatever, feeling maybe they take a little time to warm up, maybe they're shy, maybe they just want to do, I mean, I know the 2-year-old crowd just wants to do the opposite of whatever you tell them anyways. So there's lots of things that I do. One of the things that's best is to give them a little time if you can. A lot of times if a child is upset, I just like leave the room. I just let them calm down. I tell the parents like, we'll do something else first. I'll take pictures of the parents alone or of another sibling or whatever, but take the attention off of a child who is upset and let them cool down on their own. We all need that, right? If we're upset, we don't want someone staring in our face or trying to stick us into a set. So give them time and space to come around and try to keep it a game and fun. And even when you do approach them again, especially if I have a child who is shy, I get down on their level and I try to approach them not like with my camera in my hand. First, I try to just get them to connect with me and like me and decide that I'm fun and I'm not scary. And then once we've got that going on, then I can slide my camera back in and try to get the shots that I want. But it's really building a relationship with the kids first that makes the pictures much more successful. And then there's super outgoing kids who you can just whip the camera out and they're little hams. But every personality is different. And so you kind of just try to gauge kids as you meet them, how they're opening up to you. You can look for little signs, like are they kind of hiding behind mom's leg a little bit? Are they a little more timid? Are they afraid to answer your questions or talk to you? Did they talk really quietly? Those are all kind of, they might be a little bit shy or need some more time to warm up in front of the camera. Another thing that sometimes can make kids act up is having their parents there, because sometimes our children just like to torture us. I don't know what it is. Trust me, I have a 2-year-old at home and she's an angel for everybody else, but for me, she just wants to push all our buttons. So in those situations, I actually tell the parents like, oh, see if you go out of the room and get a cup of coffee or something, or if you're outdoors, you could be like, oh, just walk away for a few minutes and see if maybe they're just acting up a little bit because there's so many eyes on them. And a lot of times that will help. Okay, great question. Okay, Lynn asks, do you have a go-to list of poses that you use for family shoots, newborn shoots, etc.? I don't have a go-to list per se, excuse me, but after doing this for years, I feel like I kind of know which ones work for what ages. Like for 1-year-olds, they're really busy, and so I do the same types of poses in different sets. But they're not in a specific order, and I kind of just go with the flow with like what the family wants and how the kid is behaving. So I really let the children in the shoot kind of rule what we're gonna do. I wanna keep them happy, I wanna keep them engaged, I wanna keep them playing, and I wanna move as fast as possible. So I kind of start with like what I think is gonna work best, and then I go from there and I just like keep getting as much as I can get until everybody has had it. And then I move on from there. So no set poses, but you'll notice even if you look at our blog, like kind of repetition of poses, and they just look different because they're in a different spot in the studio, or they're in a different spot outdoors. They're using different props, different wardrobe, and all those things keep it fresh. And obviously the expression is unique to each person, and so their own individual expression and how they assume the pose is going to make it unique within the picture too. Okay. Kim asks, you always have so many amazing locations in your photos. Do you set aside time each week or month to scout locations, or do you brainstorm with your clients to choose which location will work best for their session? Thanks for taking the time to answer these questions. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Kim. You have a great weekend too. We don't really location scout. So we started with the studio, and really I was much more confident in the studio working in natural light because it was such a consistent movement. So that's where I really developed my skills of photography. And I felt outdoors that I wasn't as skillful when I started, but in recent years, I think I've shot so much more outdoors that both Mariah and I feel like we've gotten so much better really in the past couple of years with outdoor shooting. And as we've gotten better and more confident, we are seeking out like more variety of locations. And really most of the spaces are right around our studio. But one thing I will tell you is a lot of times we stumble upon a location because we'll be in a spot and it doesn't take much. I mean, okay, if you want like sweeping mountains in the background and big open skies and beautiful sunsets, then you might need to seek out the very perfect location and shoot at sunrise or sunset. But we're often shooting midday or like in the early evening hours. So what we sort of need shadier areas and we need little pockets of light. So you would be surprised if you saw my locations and what they look like in real life, because they're not these amazing, breathtaking sights. They're really just this like one little pocket of light, one little good spot in a patch of really horrific backgrounds. So yeah, I don't spend a ton of time, but I grew up in a state which is Rhode Island, and it's very tiny. You can drive around the whole state in like 45 minutes. So I know a lot of areas around here, and a lot of our clients have suggestions too. One of the spots I just shot at this week, which was amazing, the clients got married there and they wanted to go back. And so a lot of times they introduce me to new areas as well. There's no shortage out in nature. And honestly, you could just have like the side of a brick building and have awesome pictures. It's all about understanding how the light is in your location. Okay, I think I've done more than 5, but I'm gonna pick another one because it's Friday and we're celebrating. Okay, Joanne asks, your work is beautiful. Thank you, Joanne. Your lighting skills amazing. Thank you, Joanne. I'm glad I picked this one. How much do you depend on reflectors for your studio shoots? Thanks for answering this. We don't really use them anymore in this studio. We have them, but we've gotten kind of lazy with them because everything in our studio is white. So white is a giant reflector. We have white ceilings, white walls, white floors, and so it reflects a lot of light. But in the old studio, I had darker floors, darker walls, and I did use reflectors, especially for all the backlit images. So I almost always had a reflector in the old studio. This studio, the reason why I painted it all white is so to eliminate the need for that. So if we didn't have white walls, yes, I would use reflectors in every single shoot. Great question. Okay, one more. I'm just having so much fun. We haven't done this in a while. I've missed you all. Okay. Katrina, last question of the day. Post-processing, do you cull and light edit with presets in Lightroom and then final edits in Photoshop? And do you edit full sessions or just what a client wants? So first question, we edit in Adobe Camera Raw first. We do not use Lightroom here. The reason why is we have multiple computers and it's not easy to share Lightroom libraries across computers. We have multiple people working on the same files. So we have Lightroom on every computer, and we just haven't, we've bought tutorials with them. So no Lightroom for us yet. We are just using Adobe Camera Raw. Use Adobe Camera Raw like you would use Lightroom. It's very similar inside, except it doesn't have all of the great organizational qualities and like all the cataloging that Lightroom does. That is pretty awesome. So we're missing out on that. Other than that, we use Adobe Camera Raw just like you would use Lightroom. Then we do all the final editing in Photoshop, like skin softening and retouching, clone stamping things out, all of that good stuff. That's Photoshop. And then sometimes we'll use creative actions in Photoshop, like my friend Sarah at My Four Hens Photography. I love her actions. So I've been playing with those lately. I love Florabella actions. I just kind of get into a groove with some, but the actions are applied very lightly, and they're really just to slightly like enhance the photo a little bit, and to be a little bit more creative with color. So we don't rely very heavily on them. I would say we do most editing in Camera Raw to get everything the way we want it to look. Okay, and then do we edit full sessions or just what clients want? We choose our face. So we take, out of all the poses, we always choose our favorite expressions, our favorite poses, and then do the final edits just on those. So the clients see fully edited photos in their final gallery, and then they can choose what they want to order from there. Okay, that was a great question. So that is it today for today's FAQ Friday. Don't forget to head over to photographerrising.com if you haven't gone over there yet. It's www.photographerrising.com. You'll see all of our workshop information there. And I just want to take one moment because today was a big day for me. I have been working on this project behind the scenes for like a year now, doing all the writing and kind of figuring out what would be the best way to give you guys all this information and reach the most people. And it's been such a good experience. So I want to thank a couple of people today. First, I want to thank my friend Kelly France because she believed in me as a teacher before I was really teaching yet. And she also helped me see this project through all year long when I wanted to give up sometimes. So thank you to her, and a huge thank you to all of my staff here and my husband who, you know, I'm able to put my business into trusting hands when I take some time to do the teaching. So I am so appreciative to them for, you know, keeping our business such a success. And finally, thank you to all of those of you who have already come to our workshops because you have all taught me so much and inspired me to keep going with all this. So thank you all. Have a great Friday, a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.